Yabba-da-dabba-da-day. Well, a cordial welcome to Outlaw Radio, live from Light the Lounge, smoking, drinking, interrupting. Hey, look, Tattoo Dave is back. I'm glad Dave is back.
Glad to be here.
We've been missing you there, Tattoo Dave.
Miss you guys too.
Mark is here. Mark C.D. Moore is here every week, and we never miss him. Lori is here. Lori Downey Jr., our producer. Lori Downey Jr.
Here I am.
There she is in that black top. Isn't it funny how females, they don't call shirts shirts. Females call shirts tops.
Tops.
Right? Wait, what is that? I don't understand that. I mean, it is a shirt, but for a female, it's a top.
One more thing to not understand.
Yeah, about females?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Do you call it a shirt or a top, Lori? It's a top, right?
It's a top.
Yeah, it's a top.
And it's not white and it's not wet.
No, yes.
Oh, that's not too creepy.
Therein lies our lack of subscriptions to the, I was going to say the Showtime version, the YouTube version of Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. Just simply punch that in, Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, and you'll find us, our smiling faces, including but not limited to Billy Dilly, Marine, HR man, handyman, cat whisperer. Have you seen any of his cat whispering, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's pretty spot on, isn't he?
I got a girl for him.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. The girl that talks cat. What's that?
Yeah. That was sort of the impetus of this, that idiot stick. Wait, we've got her. Where is she? Let's play her again. Wait, what is that under, Lori? She's so irritating. She's worth playing again. Is it under cat whisperer or cat or? Can you find that?
I'm looking.
Yeah.
I forget her name.
Well, because, could have been a man, happened to be a woman. Ugh. Why is it all the double Uggs are hate men? Well, because I think men never gave him the time of day. I think there's a lot of truth in that, don't you?
I do.
Matt, what are you, a caveman? Yes, I am. I've said this a million times. Are you searching for that, Laura?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I mean, I can move on or did you find it?
No cut.
Okay. I know it's still there because that's something I would never remove.
Yeah, I'm trying to find out what you labeled it as.
I don't know. So what the hell did Joe Biden just say, my friends? Pennsylvania Democratic Senate candidate John Fetterman has struggled to put sentences together on the campaign trail, yet he's recovering from a stroke, you see? Joe Biden is old, full of COVID, and ridden with dementia. The president also suffers from diarrhea of the mouth, which happened at a Democratic National Committee rally in Maryland. Republicans are now semi-fascists. According to the Democratic Party, Republicans are now semi-fascists, which she noted, Lee noted as Biden's deplorables moment for 2022. See, no one cares, Joe. Besides the fact that it's not true, everyone claps and nods in agreement out of politeness. Even his own party knows that's not true. You're not respected at home or abroad. You're the diaper-wearing grandpa who garners the attention of a pity crowd because everyone and their mother knows you cannot do the job, Joe. You can't be president, and you'll never be great. Your approvals have reached a month-long high, barely breaking 40%. Yet, let's zero in on a moment that Biden and Fetterman share, which is whatever the hell he is trying to say here. It's number 878, Lori. 878.
Yep.
What the hell is Joe Biden saying here?
If we elect 2 more senators, we keep the House and Democrats, we're going to get a lot of unfinished business we're going to get done.
Bidenese.
One more time for this old sloppy piece of crap.
If we elect 2 more senators, we keep the House and Democrats, we're going to get a lot of unfinished business we're going to get done.
Excuse me? Does Joe get people's names wrong in high-level phone calls with nations like, oh, I don't know, Russia and China? I feel that he does.
Yeah.
Or his word salads are so grand that it requires pervasive interjections by his staff in clarifying what he's saying. He needs that staff to explain. Biden is not pleased that White House staffers treat him like a quasi-Alzheimer's patient. In fact, he's downright angry about it. Well, that's because technically he is one. When you allow Joe to be himself, he crashes into a tree. He called for regime change in Russia after they invaded Ukraine this year. I mean, this man is a mess. I'm assuming behind the camera, we know in front of the camera, this Joe Biden is a friggin' laughingstock, a mess. But
It's embarrassing.
But the Dems don't care because they hate Donald Trump so much.
Yeah.
It's a sickness. Bill Maher is he's coming around again, although he loves to feature those big lefty idiot sticks on his show. I have had a problem with Rob Reiner for a gazillion years, and it started about 20 years ago. Let me do the math on this. When Outlaw Radio started, it was George Burns, the day George Burns died.
Oh, wow.
And I think that was 2007. So I have disliked Rob Reiner for, I think, almost 30 years. And it's because Rob Reiner was this, you talk about fascism? Fascist, non-smoking zealot. Because people like Rob Reiner need to tell you what to do in your own life. But it's okay to murder an unborn child in his mind. That's fine. Abortion, all bets are off. But damn it, don't you light up. And certainly don't light up in an apartment building. Mark's condos, 10 minutes from where we emanate here in the San Fernando Valley, spitting distance from Hollywood, California, they just outlawed no smoking in any of the condos.
Apartments, townhomes, anything was shared wall.
Places.
Not even on your balcony.
No,
Places they own.
but we can barbecue.
But you can barbecue. And this is in the city of San Fernando, which is a pretty well-run little town, I must tell you. And I always was under the impression that we had conservatives running the joint. Because I'll tell you what, they're good on crime. I mean, they will slap you upside the head if they see you performing the old graffiti dance. But, man, no...
So what is the fine there?
No smoking in the... Yeah, what is the fine, Mark?
There isn't. It's jail.
Jail.
You're making this
Stop
up,
it,
right?
Stop it.
It's jail time.
Jail time.
For smoking in your own...
No, for graffiti.
Okay, let me move on.
happened?
Everyone else knew what I was talking about, right, Lori? Did you know?
happened?
No. He's always he's always about 3 steps behind. That's Mark C.G.
I don't know what the fine is.
Yeah, okay. See, that would have been easy. Mark C.G. Boyer and my own self had a great time at, well, let me speak for myself. I'll attempt to let Mark attempt to speak for himself.
Okay.
But another great time at Milt Larson, the proprietor, the creator of the Magic Castle, the private club in Hollywood, Cali, a couple nights ago. It was one of the gooder times.
Yes.
And he finally broke down and invited me to a Friday lunch. Now, let me explain. The Magic Castle has been around since 1961 and a half. And it was a dilapidated old mansion that Bill Larson and his brother Milt, who is still with us, God love him, 92 years old, 91. You know, once you get in your 90s, you sort of forget.
That's 90, how I feel in my 50s.
I believe he's 91. And these two brothers, whose father was a prominent attorney here in the Hollywood region and was Bess Houdini's attorney, this man loved magic. and perform magic on stage. And his sons were part of the Magic Act, including his wife, who was part of the Magic Act.
First Lady of Magic.
First Lady of Magic. And it was a magical family. So these brothers, to pay homage to their dad, found this dilapidated mansion on 701 Franklin Avenue in the hills of Hollywood, ripped it, gutted it, redid it, and turned it into this palace known as the Magic Castle, a private club for magicians. Now, I say private, but listen, you can buy your way in. I'm sure if you were to a couple $100 to the person at the front desk. I shouldn't even say this. This is almost blasphemous. You know, $400. I think $400 would probably do it. Listen, if I were manning the door there, you were a doorman here in Hollywood.
Oh yeah,
Tattoo Dave.
Yeah.
I mean, what would it take? Couple $100?
Oh yeah, easy. Less than that.
yeah. But your places were not private clubs; they were rock and roll hangouts.
Right. It was more underage. Let the underage pay a little to get in.
Yeah, boy, those were the days, huh?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Well, this joint, which I love so much, for many, many years, I have been attending Friday lunch. But as I have explained to Milt Larson over the last year and a half, it's like, I don't really go there much anymore. It's sort of corporate and so on. Well, I think it finally got to him because and this is a 91-year-old guy who is much younger than I will ever be. He said, Matt, you talk about, and these are things that I'm thinking that he would have forgotten or it's not on his mind because these are things I talked to him about months ago. And he said, Matt, I know that, it's not the old clubhouse you remember. It's not that joint. All the people you used to hang out there with are dead, Matt. They're dead. There's nothing you could do. This is Milt talking to me. There's nothing you could do about it. He said, but since I've retaken over, it has become the old castle again that you remember. And he said, I would like to invite you to a Friday lunch. Now, why would that not have been a big deal several years ago? Because Milt would have his Friday lunch as all of us members of the castle would show up on a Friday. Great food, barbecue ribs, stuff that wasn't on the menu during the week. The world's greatest chili, handcrafted by Milt Larson. It's his recipe. And the real fun times. Well, I couldn't figure out over the last several months when I'm talking to Milt about Friday, well, I'll see you Friday lunch. And he would always make it complicated. Well, it's a meeting and it's a thing. And I'm thinking, what has changed? Here's what has changed. The Friday lunch for Milt is now with a board of directors of the Magic Castle, and it is in a separate place called the Houdini Seance Room, where before he would sit out there amongst them at the castle and have lunch. Now it is in a room committed to Houdini seances on special nights, but they close the door. That he never explained, but it took him months to finally say, Matt, I would like to invite you to this. So even though I'm not a board of director, I probably should be. Maybe that's what this is about. Maybe he wants to announce my board of directorship to the clan. But this Friday, I will be there. And he said, and Matt, remember, no dress code. I said, how many years have I been coming here? I know, Friday, no dress code. But he also threw in, he said, and I'm not going to mention his, okay, I will, Dale Hyman. He said, Dale, which is sort of his second in command. He said, Dale and I, we get together a little early, about 11:30. Lunch starts at noon, but we get together at the Owl Bar and, we have a couple martinis. And I said, well, I'll be there at 11:15. And, got to be ready for the meeting. But after all these years, still quaffing the martinis. The night with Milt a couple nights ago, copious old fashions filled to the brim with bourbon. He made an extra strong one this time, so it lasted me several hours, and the only thing I had to refill was ice. That tells you how strong this old fashioned was. But there's something about his old fashions. And the way I will tend to make an old-fashioned is I will muddle the stuff, meaning I'll put the orange in and the cherry. He doesn't use cherries, and I'll muddle it, which means I'll take a wooden muddler and I'll crush it all up in there with the bitters and then the branch water and then the bourbon. He doesn't do that. And I'm starting to understand why. There's something pure and right about simply putting in that beautiful fresh orange slice. And that's what he does. That's the way he makes an old-fashioned, and it comes out beautifully. And 2 hours later, I come out beautifully. It was so much fun, and I went on this Dean Martin. I've been on a Dean Martin bent for about a month now, although I haven't been talking to you folks about it. I've been watching everything Dean Martin, and I have come to the conclusion that there is one man who is the world's greatest entertainer. Now, I used to think it was Sammy Davis Jr., because the guy could dance, sing, do impressions and everything. But then I watched this thing on YouTube, this 1965 special hosted by Frank Sinatra, where he got his friends together. Now, you know who his friends are. It's Dean Martin and Sammy. Well, Dean Martin's segment was mesmerizing. Watching that man in 1965 on stage, Dean Martin, every move is perfection. The smile on his face, there's a reason for it. He, when the audience simply wants to show their homage to Dean and they'll give him a standing O or simply applaud, he doesn't take that well. He jokes about it. Unlike Sammy, who will say, oh, thank you, oh, you're much too kind, you're much too kind. Dean Martin will never say you're much too kind. He gives you this sort of look like, wait, that's for me? You know, this humble kid from Ohio? I mean, and that's Dean Martin. And although he didn't do a lot of dancing on stage, the guy could dance. I don't know if you're aware of this, Lori Downey Jr., our producer, who was a Broadway dancer. Dean Martin could dance better than the finest dancers of his time. Have you ever seen him dance?
No.
You need to, because he is electrifying as a dancer. So, my friends, when all is said and done, after all of these years on this planet, there is one man, the world's greatest entertainer, and he happens to be a man named Dean Stinkin' Martin. And it makes it all so worthwhile. And I benefited from this meeting with him in this window of opportunity. He lost his son in 1987 or 88. When Dino lost his son Dino, who flew into a mountain, it crushed Dean Martin's life. He loved this kid more than life itself. And for him, that was the end, which was the reason why in 1988, Frank Sinatra put he and Sammy together on the road again. But Dean only lasted about 8 days of that tour, and finally one day he said, Pally, he's talking to Frank, I can't do this anymore. And the reason Sinatra did that, and I never read this, but I know this is why. He didn't want his old buddy Dean to pass away. He wanted to give him a reason to stick around. And the tour lasted 8 days, and then I believe Sammy and Frank went a few more months, but Dean Martin was never the same. And then in Hollywood at the Hamburger Hamlet, minding my own business one day, sitting there at the bar, and who do I see sitting in a table by himself? The man with ginormous glasses, almost bottle-like glasses. And I said to myself, that's Dean Martin. I shouldn't bug him. This must have been 91, 92, 3 or 4 years before he died. And I said, no, I have to bug him. And I did. And I went over to Dean and I said, let me tell you something that you've heard a gazillion times. Thank you so much. Thank you. You truly are the greatest. And he put out his hand. He said, "Thank you, Pally." And that was it. I said, "Can I buy you a drink?" He said, "No, I'm fine." And the reason why, as now I have read, he would sit in that same seat damn near every day at the Hamburger Hamlet because it was the perfect distance to the television so he could watch his sports. But at least he got out of the house, and I met the man, the world's greatest entertainer, Dean Martin. Lot to get to when we return on the big dog of broad chasing. I meant to say casting, Pally. Outlaw Radio. On YouTube, search Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
Wanna buy a new car, but the price ain't right. Ain't that cold? Be a downside cheaper, yes it do. Start riding the bike. Listen, they're making milk out of powder. Yeah they are. Got the babies crying. Poor baby, they know what that stuff is. Rent's gone up higher, yes it is. Got the parents lying. I'll pay you tomorrow. Lord, it's a real motherfucker, yeah. Make you wanna run for cover, yes it will. And if you look, you will discover, yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. Got to go to a disco, throw your troubles away. Dance to the music that the DJ plays. Well, all right. And then the lights come on, yeah, like you knew they would. That cold. Gone home and face the music that don't sound too good. Ain't that cold? Listen. Lord, it's a real motherfucker. It'll make you wanna run for cover, yeah. And if you look, you will discover, yeah. Lord, it's a real motherfucker, yeah.
laboratories. With over 200 research workers, academic staff, and PhD students worked around the clock 7 days a week for 9 years. And today, we deliver broadcasting from atomic scale components, 21st century technology, talk, stars, and subliminal messaging. Motivating, stimulating, mildly erotic, 24/7. Outlaw Radio.
Well, have mercy. Our cat whisperer and HR man, Billy Dilly, was here during my discussion of old fashions and gifted me this at break. On the rocks, premium cocktail, the old fashioned Knob Creek.
Yeah.
Not a sponsor. Should be. But it's pre-made, and usually in these pre-made drinks, you're going to get just a smidgen of the bourbon product. So for Tattoo Dave and I loaded it up with a little extra bourbon.
It's a little spicy.
it's a hot one, muy caliente, old-fashioned. I love this concept of the pre-made drinks. WONDERHUSSY. Remember we were talking about WONDERHUSSY a few weeks ago, the YouTube sensation? She's coming on the show in September.
Oh, wow.
And it probably won't be a phoner. She's going to get her ass over here.
Oh, wow.
So the next thing, I need her to combine that into one of her YouTube blogs. You know, help us get a little traction here because YouTube hates us.
That would be great.
Hopefully she doesn't do a lot of research on us and find out that we sort of lean to the right. I don't know if you're aware of that, for those of you listening on fine radio stations throughout the country, but we lean a little, just a smidgen to the right. But she is a pragmatist, this gal. And the reason why she's not with us today or next week, she's at Burning Man.
Oh, yeah.
Have you ever been there, Dave?
I've not been there, but all my friends have been there. It's ridiculous.
I think it's a bit, okay, from my sensibilities, it's a bit ridiculous.
Yeah.
It is. Explain what it is in a nutshell.
They build a huge model of a town, and they invade it, and they sit and do drugs for however long.
Like 2 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy.
They've been doing, because of the COVID, they've been doing a virtual Burning Man the last 2 years. This is the first one in 3 years.
Yeah.
Live on the spot at Burning Man in Nevada, way out in the friggin' desert.
In the middle of nowhere.
And it's turned into this thing where
it's huge.
The promoters, man, you have to pay to be there.
Yeah, and there's vendor. I mean, it's everything.
I mean, the original version of Burning Man, you didn't have to pay anyone. It was just sort of
show up.
It was organic. You show up and whatever. But I recall so many years ago, was Laurie Downey Jr. our producer, or was this? No, this was before Laurie.
It was before me.
Sean Young, you know this story, right, Laurie?
Yes, I've heard it.
Sean Young, well, I was going to say beautiful, but she hates it when I call her beautiful. So the pretty, she likes being referred to as pretty actress from, what was she in? Blade Runner and Stripes with Bill Murray.
I think Ace Ventura, Pet Detective.
Ace Ventura, No Way Out with Phil Hartman. No, who is that big, what's
Jim
it?
Carrey.
Wrong. See that? What is that about Mark C.G. Boyer? He's always a step behind.
He's talking about Pet Detective still.
Right, and I'm talking about No Way Out with that that famous movie star.
Yeah,
the thin guy who has never been my cup of tea.
If you build it, they will come.
Yeah, that guy, right?
Kevin Costner.
Kevin Costner. Yeah. Well, one day on the show, my buddy, and we were buddies for many, many years, Sean Young and my own self. I think it was, who's the comedian? Doug Stanhope, who was a regular on Outlaw Radio for many, many years. Doug Stanhope said, hey, I'm going to, and this is a Doug Stanhope thing. This is a Doug Stanhope venue. Yeah, I'm going to Burning Man. You should come along. And I said, really? Well, what is it? Well, it's way out in the desert. I said, I love the desert. I said, what do? A lot of drinking? I'm thinking, I love the desert. I love a lot of drinking. So, let's, the drug part. and right, Dave? Mm-hmm. There's a lot of, I would think, a lot of drugs involved.
Oh, there's no thinking about it. It's 100%
like acid,
ecstasy, LSD, mushrooms. It's the works.
Not my cup of tea, but there was no mention of those illicit drugs by Doug Stanhope, my buddy. And I said, all right. And Sean Young, no, I said, I don't know. Sean said, Matt, let's go.
Oh, wow.
And I said, you and I? And she said, yeah. She said, you drive out there. I will take my truck. She had this beautiful big-ass four-wheel drive truck, SUV.
Woman after my own heart.
Yeah. Right. And I said, okay, let's do it. And we and it sounded good at the time. And then the next day, and I was for this, there was a window of opportunity for me because I was unencumbered by any broads in my life. Mm-hmm. So this was a rarity for me. And I said yes, and then called it off the next day. She never forgave me. She never forgave me. She's been pissed off about this since it had to be 18 years ago, 16 years ago at least.
Right.
And won't ever let me live this down. We were going to do a talk show together. I invited her on a local radio station here in L.A. She committed to it, and last minute... Cancellation. You think that had anything to do with my canceling our little escapades that never happened at Burning Man? Count on it. That's what females do.
Remember?
What?
That she came to me at one point and she wanted to put together this show. That was your show. Remember the concept? I said, Sean Young has this idea and she wants me to produce her.
Yeah.
And it was your show that you wanted to do with Sean. Remember?
But without me?
Yeah, she was going to do it.
See, nasty women. Females are so nasty, man. They will get you. They are vindictive. They will always get you. And that's my Sean Young, Doug Stanhope, never been to Burning Man story. But WONDERHUSSY, who will be on this show in September, she will be there all 2 weeks.
Yeah, well, just watching her, she's a full-on hippie.
Oh,
100% hippie.
Yeah, but when I think hippie, I think lefty. She's not a lefty.
No.
Yeah, she's not a lefty. She's almost like that old school hippie. And if you recall back in the 60s, the hippies were all about, hey, man, government, stay out of our way. We want our rights. And now it's completely turned around where those folks who were the hippies back in the 60s, it's like, please, more government. Tell us what to do.
Yeah.
We'll wear a face mask. Even they're sheep.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't help. But this is sort of and she is hippie-esque.
Oh, yeah. Very.
I mean, she doesn't shave her armpits, for God's sakes.
Bingo.
What do you think of that, Lori?
What do I think about that?
As a female, what do you think?
I wonder what team she plays for.
Oh no. She is a heterosexual female as much as a female is heterosexual.
Can be, right.
Right.
Maybe we can shave her armpits on the show.
What, Lori?
Maybe we can shave her armpits on the show.
Hey, by the way, I know you were saying that flippantly. That is a great idea.
That's a huge.
That is a great friggin'.
I'm gonna bring the clippers.
The clippers?
Well, you
can't just go straight.
No,
to
you gotta start by clipping.
Yeah, you gotta get it shorter.
Gotta get it on down there, and then you shave.
Yeah.
How long is that hair?
She can braid it.
It's a bush.
It's a bush of hair there under her pits.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
You should do it.
And there's
That's a great idea, Lori. That's one of the best ideas you've come up with in a gazillion years.
Wait till she hears this show.
But I love this gal because she's articulate and she makes things interesting. She loves the old ghost towns, but she will rummage through things and hike 10, 20 miles, places where I wouldn't go.
And then also get naked.
Oh, she's a full-on nudist.
Yep.
A full-on, but as she said, and I found this really interesting. She she says that, and I believe her 100%. You know me. I'm not a naive guy. So when she says that she simply likes being naked, but it has nothing to do with sexuality, she's not naked because of any sexual prowess. She's a nudist because she likes being naked.
Yeah.
And I believe that because she sort of comes off asexual. You know, sex doesn't exude from her. And when I see her, I just see this cool chick who loves the desert and loves the old gold mining towns
And the ocean. She's all over the place.
Yeah, but she really loves the desert.
Yeah, she
the
does.
desert is her. I mean,
The hike.
She lives in friggin' Death Valley, for God's sakes.
Oh my God.
That's where she lives.
Wow.
I would be naked too.
But Billy Dilly, whose mic is off, he just said,
It is on.
I would be naked too.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to be, especially this time of year, man.
So is she going to be naked on the show?
No. We're not a naked show, Lori.
I know.
That's not what we do. But
What if she arrives naked?
But we are an armpit shaven show now.
It's in your inbox, man.
What? The idea?
Yes.
Like I'm going to forget that one?
I don't know. I just sent it along.
You know, if she'll agree. I wonder.
I'll bring the.
I mean, hopefully we don't have to entice her with. Oh, I'll tell you what we entice her with. She loves a Negroni, and she loves a proper martini.
Wow.
Oh, there we go.
So I still have one prefab bottled Negroni beside me here, well, in back of me, one that Lori picked up a few months ago, and it's been sitting there. And now it has WONDERHUSSY's name on it.
A listener just chimed in
Oh, yeah?
and said, so are y'all going to be nude next week?
Oh, yeah, no.
Not next week.
No. No, I'm not I'm a very private guy unless I'm with the female that I love. And then I have no problem with nudity. But, you know, I won't even use a urinal with another guy. It's like, why would I be doing that? It's either one of you wanting to see my penis or me wanting to see yours. I just don't, I'm not into that. Or it's let's step them off. I mean, what are we doing there?
Can't you get up against the wall?
I use a stall. Can't you, Lori? I use a stall. I always have.
That's funny that you say that. I don't like that either.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Yeah.
I don't. I mean, you go into the bars that have the trough.
Oh, I can't.
And you're sitting there pissing next to,
that's
5
gross.
different guys. And I'm like, what is this?
No. It's gross. What is
Yeah.
that? Is right.
I agree. And it has nothing to do with,
No.
shyness or anything like that. I mean,
Unless it's a gay bar, then you get the point. You know,
Maybe.
then you can inspect and you go, okay, so that might be a good one.
I try not to frequent those.
There are sporting venues that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Where that concept
Yeah.
have 40 or 50 guys.
Oh,
Yeah.
God. And
Yeah, all the stadiums I think, have them, or used to have them anyway.
Yeah, it's
You just walk in and it's just a big, huge.
But Mark, would you do that or you'd wait until everyone left?
I do also have a shy bladder, yeah.
Yeah. How about? Well, I was going to ask Lori, but females are not shy. They go to the bathroom together.
Yeah,
And well,
but we have a stall
No, I
there.
understand that, but we know what you're doing in there.
What are we doing?
And you're okay. Here's my point.
Mm-hmm.
The other female that went into the bathroom with you,
Yeah.
she knows because. And please, my friends, I know I even hate to go in this direction because it sounds gross, but you can hear it. So
Ew.
that female knows what you're doing in there.
No kidding.
Well, as a guy, and somehow there's a friend in there, and it's very rare, but somehow that happens. I'll make noise or flush the toilet so you don't hear it.
Or turn on the water.
Yeah. Well, no, there's no water in the stall.
Oh.
Hence the flushing of the toilet.
Okay, there's always water.
but yeah, I don't get that. I don't get that standing around together and urinating. It's just not my cup of tea. Not my cup of pee.
No.
Oh yeah. I'm 16 years old. More when we return. I was about to get to this Bill Maher stuff because he's on a roll, and you're going to be on a roll with him. Oh, you'll agree with him. Trust me on
He's
this.
been on a roll lately. A couple of little dips back, but
then he has that Rob Reiner piece of crap on with him. Okay, we'll be this after back on Outlaw Radio on YouTube. You'll find us under Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
It seems like the city is breathing, and diamonds are falling, rose-colored glasses, the moon and the river is seething, the holiday calling, wherever you go, I follow.
Listening to OutlawRadioLive.com. And if you're listening to us on YouTube, then smash it, like it, join us, hit that alert so you join us every time we open up our show. We're coming back right after this.
Plantains, by any other name, are still bananas. And now there's a new game in town led by an hombre named Matt. A poker-playing, cigar-smoking, barbecue-eating talker. They call him Magic in these parts. And he's made bananas a kind of art form. The kind of talking that makes people sit up and bark at the moon.
Don't live his fate.
Ordinary just got better. Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt Allen.
Incidentally, we were talking about Wonderhussy, who is all the rage on YouTube, and I think the reason why she returned I think it was an email. I finally got to her because in her first line she said, "Oh yeah, Matt, I heard from several viewers of my channel that you were talking about me." Oh. So, because of that, and it could be any myriad of shows that I happen to do on the radio. It could be this one, Outlaw Radio, could be the other stuff. But what are you doing over there?
Sorry.
What is that?
The hell are you doing, Dave?
I'm just watching us.
Dave, you're not going to do this when Wonderhussy's here and you're shaving her armpits,
of course
are you?
not. I'm not that multitaskable.
Yeah. But and so now Lori brought up the nudity thing because Wonderhussy is a nudist. And she said at break, well, can you tile out the nude parts and have her on the show nude? And would you get nude too if she were nude on the show? First of all, you don't need to ask me that question. You know I ain't doing that.
You're so shy.
I might.
Yes, I am. Well, Lori, are you getting nude?
Not with a woman.
Okay, but mostly men in the bar. Yeah.
You don't need.
By the way, just to be clear, I'm the one that brought up the nudity.
Yeah, that she is a nudist.
Yes.
So a listener had chimed in.
Wait, a listener or a viewer or both? Because we are on YouTube
Yes, as a viewer.
Under Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube. Yes.
So was concerned that we're all going to get naked, and if we get naked, can Mark have a mic in the green room?
Absolutely.
Touche.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So that's a slam against Mark. They don't want to see him naked.
Yeah.
Is that what that is? Oh, okay.
Hey, well, listen. Let's be honest. Would anybody?
Well, no.
I mean, I have to say,
Yeah, that's a little frightening.
that would be very traumatic.
See, now I take it the other way.
What?
I take it that this person that's viewing Mark is into Mark and doesn't want him to get naked with this guest.
Oh, well, that could be as well, Lori.
Oh.
Always the diplomat to everyone but my own self. What'd you do to the mics? Because all of a sudden, you messed with the headphones or you did something.
No, that would...
Next, because you just fixed it. Whatever you did.
This is...
Bill Maher in the news. You're going to love this Bill Maher stuff, especially when he's speaking with that big friggin' a-hole Rob Reiner and Minnesota Senator Amy... I like to call her Clovulture. She is one piece of crap. And we'll get to that next hour. Plus, a box of 6 M1 rifles was sent to a high school by mistake. The address of the collector who ordered them and the school were similar, and you might be thinking, hey, let's talk about guns in schools. No, I'm not talking about that. But what would happen if you received an accidental shipment of guns? Would you keep them or send them back? Dave?
Is that a serious question?
Yeah, I know you're keeping them.
Straight to my safe. Straight to the safe.
Straight to the safe. Yeah. How about you, Billy Dilly? Well, Billy Dilly.
I would keep them.
He would keep them.
I'd have to lock them up.
Yeah. How about you, Lori? Would you lock them things up?
No, I'd give them back.
Okay. See, I know that. All right. So a lot to get to in the second, but frivolously fun hour of Outlaw Radio on YouTube. Find us at Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. And thanks to our affiliates throughout the country, you have beautiful taste, especially you in Wisconsin. You are my friends. You with the big prime rib and the sausages and the cheese. We'll be this after back.
We're the last line of defense. And really, the comedians are the last, the voice of truth in this whole thing.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time! Outlaw Radio for all of us. Outlaw Radio for all of us. Outlaw Radio for all of us.
Hi, this is Sean Young on Outlaw Radio.
Hey, this is Shelley Berman on Outlaw Radio. Listen, come on, listen to me or listen to Matt. If you like being bored, it's great for you.
It's Robert Hayes. I'm here on Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt, a.k.a. The Weasel. We are here to drink. We're here to smoke. We're here to interrupt. You may drink. You may smoke. You may interrupt, but I'm here to...
Live from the Lighten Up Lounge, this is Tom DeLuise saying, this is Outlaw Radio.
Hi, this is Chuck Woolery at Lighten Up Lounge on Outlaw Radio. There's lots of fun, guys. Be back, 2 and 2.
Hi, this is Gilbert Gottfried, and you're listening to Outlaw Radio, where we smoke, we drink, Magic Matt, a.k.a. Mr. Cigar, in the Lighten Up Lounge. We drink, we smoke, we interrupt.
Speaking of our lovely folks in Wisconsin, well, who's doing that? Well, even if I'm not speaking of you, I'm always thinking of my lovely friends in Wisconsin, listening to us on great radio stations and throughout the nation, throughout the land, on YouTube, Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio on YouTube. Hey, if you'd be so kind. See, this is why you hate me, right? Because you can sense my insincerity. Right? You can on occasion you can sense my insincerity. And because of that, you say, well, I don't like that guy. He's insincere. But I am sincere. In my insincerity, I am sincere. And so what I'm asking you, out of the kindness of your heart, subscribe to Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. How difficult can it be? The YouTube people hate us. They hate our guts. Those commies at YouTube hate us. So stick it right up their old, where the sun don't shine. You know what I'm saying, right? I don't want to get too rude here. But Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, hit the subscribe button. Dave McCormick just did that. Dave McCormick, our latest subscriber.
Welcome,
Thank you, Dave. Thank you, Dave.
You've got a great name.
Yes. You mean McCormick?
Of course.
Yes. Yeah, that's Tattoo Dave over there. Our Mark C.G. Boyer, our HR man, and cat whisperer Billy Dilly's here. Lori Downey Jr. is our producer, who will be here when Wonderhussy is here.
Yeah.
Wonderhussy, the YouTube sensation. Wonderhussy. A nudist, but she's not nude on her videos because then she couldn't be on YouTube all the time.
Incorrect.
No, all the time. And what she wants is to be monetized. Now, if she's a big nudie, then she's not being monetized. There's a lot that goes into this YouTube, and none of it good. So I don't even know why I plug them. Well, because we're on YouTube, Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
It's kind of an anti-plug.
We're kind of the anti-everything. Welcome to the big dog of broad chasing, meant to say casting, Outlaw Radio. Speaking of, this is where I was going. Speaking of Wisconsin and great cheese and especially great sausages, Mark C.G. Boyer, after our foray into Hollywood to visit with Milt Larson, the builder, the man behind the world-famous Magic Castle, after many an old-fashioned, and now I'm hungry. And Mark, of course, the designated driver who drinks nothing but Pepsi. And so I said, I got a great idea. It's a place called like Deep Town Fry or Deep High. Do you remember the actual name?
We don't have any fries.
Yeah, we don't have any fries. So, but it's they make fried food and they're proud of it. So I wanted to go to this place for the last couple months. Well, we went all the way there to Burbank and Deep Town Fry. And the minute we walk in, the two kids, and now everyone under 30 is a kid to me.
Oh, yeah.
The two kids now say, well, it's going to be a 25-minute wait. Okay, Mark instantly says, well, that's okay. Well, I said, what do you mean that's okay? I'm not waiting 20. I'm not joining.
I did not say so.
Yes, you did. You said that's okay.
I asked you.
You said that's no. You said that's okay.
25 minutes.
No, you did not. You said, well, that's fine. I said, no, I'm not waiting 25 minutes. And then they added, well, that's for burgers, if you want burgers. And I'm thinking, well, I do want a burger. That's why I'm here. I want I want the 3-pattied burger. And they said, well, no, fryer. The burger fryer's down. They said, but we can make other fried foods for you.
They're going to have it fixed in 25 minutes.
Yeah, but
Well, they said they put fresh.
They said
oil.
I said, what about the funnel cake? They said we can make a funnel cake. Oh. So, but that takes frying, right? Yeah, but we can't. But we can't. But we usually fry our burgers, and we can't. So we can. Okay. So I said, all right, and I'm just hungry as hell. So Mark orders the pastrami dog. Okay, that's easy. Oh. And I'm looking on the menu, and I'm trying to find something better than the pastrami dog because Mark C.G. Boyer will usually go for the easiest thing, not complicated, not a lot of condiments. So I'm still looking. And the only thing worth a crap that wasn't a burger is the pastrami dog. So I ordered the pastrami dog, but I said, everything you're not putting on his, put on mine. Not knowing that there's nothing on it except mustard. So they put extra mustard on mine.
Oh, my God.
Now, there's a reason why I bring this to your attention, my friendlies. And, you know, they've got these places popping up constantly throughout the nation. This is not simply indigenous here to Southern California. So they're trying to do this down-home fry thing and this sort of fair food concept. Fine, I love that, especially if I'm really drunk and I'm hungry and I happen to be at this point on a Thursday night. So I said, okay, I'll have the thing. And then I get it, and there's a bunch of mustard on it. I said, why is there mustard? And no onions. Mark got the onions on his. He said, well, I thought you didn't want what was on his. Oh. And I said, no, I want more. I said, he doesn't like onions. And then Mark said, oh, yeah, yes, I do. I like onions. So it's one of the rare vegetables that Mark likes is onions.
Or onion ring aficionado.
Yes, but it doesn't mean you like onions. There are people that love onion rings that don't like onions.
But I bring the onion.
So here's the thing.
Never mind.
So I get this thing, and it's really mediocre. It's not moist. It's overcooked, and there's one tiny effing slice of pastrami.
Really?
I mean, an overcooked, tiny little piece of pastrami. Now, these dogs sell for $14 a piece. A ripoff. Now, I had a Groupon, so I was mildly ripped off. But then I said, well, we're definitely having a funnel cake. The funnel cake was the saving grace, even though this could have fed 5 people. It was an Oreo cookie funnel cake, and then
ice cream.
And Mark walks back out because I finally decided. But this place, it has this hollow sounding. They wouldn't even put a rug down. Oh. It's just a bad place to eat. I said, we're going outside. So we were sitting outside. Mark left for a second. He comes back and he said, they want to know, do you want ice cream on it? And I said, it's a funnel cake, of course. What, I want no ice? Yes, of course I want it. I want vanilla ice cream on it. So they come out with this vanilla ice cream laden funnel cake that could feed 5 people, and it was the only good thing there, and we finished about a quarter of it. And I thought of Lori. Lori, you would have loved this thing.
Probably.
And it's the only time I thought of Lori all night.
Most likely.
But you would have loved this thing, but my God, you people with startup businesses, and I do recall, I recall some of this in my stupor after many an old-fashioned. I recall saying to Mark, whoever is behind this business, this cannot be a labor of love. This has to be a tax write-off. Because if these people cared about their business first, they wouldn't have 2 schlubs working the front, and the first thing out of their mouth is, well, it's going to be 25 minutes. Because these kids simply want to leave.
Oh, yeah.
They don't want business.
Right.
Well, that's millennials.
Yeah, yes, Dave. Yeah, they just want to go home. Hey, there's partying to do, my friends. There's Burning Man to attend. We got to get to Burning Man.
Got to get in social media.
Right. So you don't want those 2 employees, because that would not be the first thing out of my mouth. It would be, okay, we would love to make anything for you. Here's the deal, and then you want that. But no, they didn't want us as a customer. But I persevered.
They were real They were nice, though.
They were nice kids, but dip asses. As you know, hey, listen, a lot of these millennials and a lot of these people who vote the wrong way, they're nice people. They're nice people who are dip asses. So are they really nice? No, not really when you drill down. Nah, they're not nice.
But you
they come off nice.
You think of a pastrami, whatever.
There's a lot of pastrami in there, right?
Pile of pastrami,
right?
Whatever, yeah.
One tiny friggin' slice,
like a piece of bacon.
And if I had any plan of ever going back there, I would have complained, but I know that they would have spit or done something unsorted to the next dog that came out. So I just I took my Groupon. I still got ripped off even with a Groupon. I mean, how do you feel ripped off with a Groupon? But I did, and it sucked. So what I'm telling you is, mom and pop places, if you're going to open up a fast food sort of joint, and this is in a strip mall, have some passion. Have some passion for your product. Now, I guess I'm not speaking to that multi-gazillionaire who is using a place like this, got to be, as a tax write-off.
Yeah.
But I just can't imagine that. And who in the hell is going to pay $14 for a piece of crap dog? We've got a fast food joint up the street called Holiday Burger.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
And if you order a pastrami dog or a pastrami burger there,
too big to eat.
It'll be too big to eat.
Yep.
As our friend Rodney Allen Rippey would say, too big to eat. Tons of pastrami. And then Lori will go there with her daughter, and she'll always come back with a bacon cheeseburger for me.
Always.
And
I get you the bacon.
And so I get pissed about it because I said, why? I said, don't order me anything then.
You did.
If you don't care enough to ask me what I would like, because what am I going to have there? Anyone?
Pastrami burger?
A pastrami cheeseburger. Of course. What would you have there, Dave?
Yeah, pastrami cheeseburger.
Pastrami cheeseburger. Not a bacon burger, but a pastrami cheeseburger.
Well, I get you the most expensive one. That's the one I got.
that's absolutely.
It was the bacon guacamole cheeseburger. It's the most expensive item on the menu.
I'll tell you one thing about the last one I had. There was no guacamole to be found on that burger. In fact, the last two, no guacamole whatsoever. What you do is you get the damn double, and it's always a double because it's a better deal with a double. You only charge like an extra $1 on top of like $8. So you always get a double burger, always. And then they pile on the day, and it's not deli type pastrami, it's fast food type pastrami. But on a burger, it's really good.
Yeah.
You really like this stuff. All right, Lori.
Yeah.
What the hell did Joe Biden say at the Democratic National Committee rally in Maryland? Here he is.
Elect 2 more senators. We keep the House and Democrats. We're going to get a lot of unfinished business. We're going to get done.
Son of a bitch. That's the President of the United States of America, the most powerful man in the universe, man. This man
almost sounded like we kick ass.
God, he wouldn't
kick ass on Democrats.
He could never say anything that cool. Play it again, Lori.
If we elect 2 more senators, we keep the House and Democrats. We're going to get a lot of unfinished business. We're going to get done.
Do you think me in exceptionally immature to say that when I make this statement, I hate that man, and I believe that man and his party in this day and age are evil.
100%.
They are evil. They are evil. They don't like, they don't appreciate, they certainly don't adore the United States of America. And I can't stand these sons of bitches who if there is anything to go wrong, they have done it. Gas prices through the roof. And now we're celebrating here in California because gas prices over the last 6 weeks are down 30 cents, 40 cents.
Well, $4.99.
Yay, $4.99 a gallon. Whoa, Biden, you're doing some great stuff. How about that pipeline? Get the pipeline up and running.
But that's in the barrio.
The pipeline is in the barrio?
No, the gas for $4.99.
Okay, so you're talking about cheap in your opinion of cheap gas is $4.99.
Yes, that's where I have to go to the barrio to
But
get
you
it.
hear that? You lovely people listening to us and watching us on YouTube under Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio and other parts of the country, that's what we're paying for a gallon of gas. $4.99 a gallon.
Now, here's a weird thing. I got to tell you something.
I'd
really
like to
odd.
hear a weird thing, Lori Downey Jr. That's why I'm here.
Yeah. The weird thing is, I was talking to my mother today in Long Island, in New York.
By the way, you can stop right there. Yeah, because nothing sane is going to come out of that conversation. Continue, please.
So she was.
And by the way, I love her mother. I love her. I adore Lori Downey Jr.'s mother. Yes.
She's
in
a
fact,
rascal.
this hat. What did you call her? An
A
a-hole?
rascal.
Oh, I heard a-hole.
No, I didn't.
This hat was gifted me by her mother.
Yeah.
A hat that I said I would never wear
Yeah.
because my name is on it.
And she's so happy you are.
Oh, is she?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well,
she tunes in. She goes to the YouTube.
I'll tell you, Lori, it's the best looking hat that I can wear on our YouTube televised version of Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. It looks the best. So
At 84, she's finding you on the YouTube.
I love her on the YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, I mentioned this the other day on another radio show that I do, that my friends on the East Coast, they always use the word the in front of that. So, see, Lori, who is a Long Island chick, the YouTube.
Yes.
Yeah, it's always the. Whatever it is, the pastrami.
Yes.
Yeah, the YouTube. Anyway,
sense.
what, Laura?
So I was telling her how, like it's a cowboy town here in Los Angeles. Everything is dirty, sandy. Everything's dead.
Okay, first of all, I'm not buying your premise. A cowboy town? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Because it looks so horrible.
No,
it
no,
looks
no,
like
no.
tumbleweed should come through because there's no water. We can't do
by
our
the way, a
lawn.
cowboy town, I love the cowboy towns. Those are the old West towns. That's Virginia City, Nevada. That's Tombstone in Arizona. You know, I love the cowboy towns. That's not a great descriptor of L.A.
Well,
How about a cesspool, Lori? Call it what it is. Where we emanate is an effing cesspool because of the idiot a-holes who run this place called California.
So we have to cut back on all our water, and right now all the lawns are dead. Everything is some plants and succulents and whatever.
Yeah.
And just dirt and sand, and it's really dark brown and gray and nasty, right?
Yeah.
My mother told me today that in Long Island, where they get a lot of rain, they didn't have a lot of rain this summer, but now they're asking them to cut back on the water. The same program we had.
Hey, Lori, let me tell you something.
I know.
When you have Democrats in charge, it's about control. It's about how much will you people put up with. There is no reason whatsoever on planet Earth for anyone on Long Island to have to give up their water.
Right.
No reason whatsoever. This is about control. And P.S., I had great hopes for that mayor of New York City.
Oh, he's an idiot.
That guy is he's just another of a long line of dip-ass friggin' Democrat lefty mayors.
So I said to today,
Eric Adams, God,
Yes.
And I said, God bless you, Eric, about a year ago. Screw you. You're one of those bad people like all the others. Why don't you do some great things for not your constituents, but those people in that city of gazillions of people in all the boroughs? Yes, Lori Downey Jr.
So I said to her, what are you talking about that you have water restrictions?
Did you say it just like that? What are you talking about?
I did.
Yeah.
And so she said, what do you mean? It's going across the universe. It's across the nation. We're having problems in Long Island right now. We have to restrict our water because we don't have enough water here. And so every other day we can water our plants, whatever, our lawn. And now they're measuring how much water we use.
And so they are committed to giving out the fines?
I don't know if it's gone that far yet, but it's now in place.
Yeah, okay.
Which I can't even believe that.
No, because it makes absolutely no sense.
It makes no sense.
You know who gets screwed more than anyone? California, we get much more than we should in our allotment of water from the river. We get much more than we should. Arizona gets a ton. You know who gets screwed? Nevada, Southern Nevada. Northern Nevada, they don't need it. They don't need anything from the Colorado River.
Right.
But Southern Nevada gets screwed because of a deal that was made a gazillion years ago based on stats that went 30 years before that.
Right.
So based on these stats, they get about 6% of the friggin' water. Well, California gets about 40%, Arizona 30%. It's something like that. It's all cut up.
It is.
But Nevada gets screwed.
Yep.
And Nevada, when it comes to conserving water, they're the best. They are the best because most of that water that you see, all of it in the casinos and the Bellagio, the fountains and so on, it's recirculated.
Yes.
It's reused, and a lot of that water is sent back to Lake Mead. That's the way it works. So Nevada, God bless you, Nevada. I mean, you've got your act together, although you are being run by a real Sisolak piece of crap governor. But in the grand scheme of things, and if we're comparing governors, this guy is simply a wannabe, and he follows our governor here in California, Mr. Dip-ass Hair Man, and he follows Oregon and Washington State. But I think there's hope for this man because I think the casinos, the big money, especially in southern Nevada, got to him and said, yeah, you did the mask thing. We went through that. Mm-hmm. We did it. That was good. Okay, we had to do that. We shut it down, right? Sisolak, not again. I know the big wigs, the big money guys have had a conversation, a little powwow in a back room, probably at Jackson's, the dive bar where they serve $20 prime rib. Probably a little powwow, and they said, hey, Sisolak, we did it. We did it. We're not going to do that again. I don't care what the stats show. We're not doing it again. Now, the only thing that can prove me wrong is if it happens again. But I'm telling you, I sense these things. I do my due diligence. And unlike our friggin' piece of crap governor here in California, that Sisolak, he has to listen to the money because Southern Nevada is the bulk of income for the entire state of Nevada,
Right.
which is the most underpopulated state in the United States of America. It's mostly desert. I think that's why I love it so much. And Southern Nevada brings in the most income. And it's all about tourism. And speaking of that, we still got Bill Maher to get to, but speaking of that, these freaking big hotels and their add-on charges.
Oh, God, resort fees. Come on.
Resort fees should be abolished. Now, I'm not saying that government should step in. You, as a consumer, should simply say no.
Right.
No, we're not paying a resort fee because that's an add-on scam-a-lama ding-dong. You're already paying for that. Wi-Fi, the pool, that's part of paying for a night at a hotel. And the parking fees. Some of the resorts have finally said, okay, screw that, we're not doing the parking anymore. But some of them have upped the charges. So you want people to come back. It's certainly not the old Vegas from the 60s or 70s or even 80s, for God's sakes.
No.
Where you could get a great prime rib, a feasible prime rib, and potato and everything, $5.99. $4.99 in some places.
Yep.
You get a breakfast buffet at 11 o'clock at night for $2.99. Yep. None of that exists because they decided that, we got to make our money outside of gambling. See, it was always about gambling. And I think it was Ted Binion who came up with the concept, just treat these people right. Give them more than they ask for, and they'll come back. And God bless him, although a sordid life. But there's a guy that I would have loved to interview. We'll be this after back on Outlaw Radio.
The force from the beginning. We've come too far to give up who we are. So let's raise the bar and our cause to the stars. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night. She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get. 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 We're up all night to get lucky. 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 Come so far, night to get lucky. 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 She's up all night to the sun. I'm up all night to get some. She's up all night for good fun. I'm up all night to get lucky. We're up all night to the sun. We're up all night to get some. We're up all night for good fun. We're up all night to get lucky. 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 We're up all night to get lucky.
is Outlaw Radio.
All right, here's what I want to do. I want to do a trucker show. I want to do a 5-night-a-week trucker show, late night, for our hard-working truckers throughout the nation. That's what I want to do.
I love it.
Because you know that sci-fi thing, that UFO show? Yeah, a lot of truckers listen to that. They have nowhere else to go. That's what I want to do.
You know what?
Can I get a hell yes on that?
Hell
yeah. 5 nights a week. I'd love to start that thing, let's say 10 o'clock till 1 Pacific time. You know?
I love it.
Let's do that thing for our truckers, because I love our truckers.
I'm one of our truckers.
I know you are. Tattoo Dave, one of our truckers. We have truckers listening to Outlaw Radio.
Yes, we
Why?
do.
Because they're good Americans who have great taste. Yes, Lori?
So, speaking of truckers, we have the great Steve Abbott listening in Wisconsin, and he's enjoying brats and barbecue right now with mustard and everything on the fire.
No, does it have anything to do with brats?
Broads. Speaking of brats and broads, he also wants to deliver the clipper for the wonderful WONDERHUSSY.
Yeah.
Yes. Brats and broads. That's the great Steve Abbott out of Wisconsin.
Steve Abbott and his buddies, man, they're barbecuing beans and brats in Wisconsin. I love that guy.
Send some over.
I love that guy. You know, he's been a fan of Outlaw Radio for many, many years, and he's the guy that sent me an inbox through my Facebook page, my personal Facebook page at MATTALAN. Spells my name, Matt Allen. Years ago, he said, you know, my dream would be to be on that show. And we made his dream come true. And he was here. He was here for an entire show.
Yes, he was.
Good for him.
Yeah, and Lori, you know, at first didn't like him. I said, wow, how could you not like this guy? She didn't get it. She didn't get him. I said that's Wisconsin. So because he's showing you respect and calling you ma'am,
well, at that day
he's a bad guy?
Hang on a second.
That's a sweet guy.
Yeah, that's a
he
great guy.
He is a sweet guy, as it turns out. But that day, he was on his knee, right, Steve?
What?
And he was calling me ma'am, and I was like, what are you doing? You don't have to be on your knee calling
Was he
me ma'am.
proposing?
No.
Wow.
He was just being very proper.
Yeah.
And he is a sweetheart.
No, he's a sweetheart, man. Anytime. Next time, you take Lori's room. All right. I do.
Without me in it.
No, I love this guy. And that, man,
he's good.
He sends us cheese. He sends us meats. This Bloody Mary cheese, who I believe he mentioned they no longer make it.
Oh, really?
Oh, that was the best stuff ever.
It was.
Remember when Roman, my poker playing buddy, would come to the show? Something is up his rectum. It's something about the show now.
Really?
And I don't know what it is, but something has pissed him off.
Roman?
Is it his wife?
No.
Something's going on.
He is just dedicated to spending more time with the wife.
Okay. Well,
that's all it is.
But because he is a good father. He's a really good father.
He's a good husband. He's a good guy.
He's a good guy. Okay. All right. By the way,
unlike some people we know.
Who?
I can't say.
Well,
really?
I don't care.
Who could they be?
I'll tell you a good guy. Who I was wrong about. I was wrong about this guy because at first I thought, what a stupid publicity stunt. And then it turns out that he's pissing off Eric Adams, and that's good enough for me. Oh, yeah. And he's pissing off the Upper West Siders. Well, as long as it's not in my backyard, not NIMBY, then we're fine with this. You know, we are liberal. We're classic liberal. We like the blacks as long as they're cleaning our kitchen. That's who you people are. That's who you are. You're liars.
Right.
You're liars. Mm-hmm. You Upper West Side liars. And at first, when Texas Governor Greg Abbott was shipping in all the illegals to Manhattan, I thought, stupid publicity stunt. He was right.
He did it.
He was right. And Eric Adams, the friggin' caretaker of New York, the mayor, is pissed off.
Yep.
And those Upper West Siders are pissed off because, Lovey, look at this is a degradation of our fine city. Greg Abbott, thank you for doing the right thing. Thank you for knowing to do the right thing. And thank you for doing the right thing when I didn't think it was the right thing to do, but a publicity stunt, as it turns out. And then what about the billboard, Lori, in Texas?
Oh, the billboard in Texas is basically trying to get people not to come there because they want to show what happened when the kid got in and killed all those kids.
Yeah,
And they're like so focused on that.
Which is no laughing matter. I didn't know you were going there. But
this is the last shooting.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I almost feel like it's all these other governors of other states that are trying to get their people back are behind that billboard because nobody knows who paid for that billboard.
Yeah. Yeah.
Really disgusting.
Yeah. Well, how about they got a great billboard in Times Square, and I forget exactly what I wish I could recall this.
Welcome immigrants?
No. It was about Biden. It was about President Biden being a dummy and lists about 6 or 7 reasons why Joe Biden is a dummy. It's in Times Square of all places. So I thank those folks who love America, those people who veer to the right politically, who are doing the right thing and are finally becoming proactive. Because, you know, it's always the left, the liberal, the lefties, the woke, they're the squeaky wheels who get all the attention. And they don't deserve the attention, but liberal media, which is 99.9% of all the newscasts that Lori watches, KTLA, ultra liberal, ultra left.
Okay.
I wouldn't watch that friggin' newscast, and anytime I do walk through the bedroom or through the living room and it's on, I hear something that pisses me off.
It does.
Because they don't veer to the left. They are bona fide, dyed-in-the-wool lefties.
So here's the thing,
Channel
Matt.
5. And by the way, they're probably not as bad as some of the local network affiliates.
Well, Channel 5 is local, and they're the worst. They are the worst.
They are the best of the worst.
No, they're the best of the worst when it comes to their
They're
liberal
puppets.
agenda.
They're lefty puppets.
Of course, but all of these local newscasts are complete lefty puppets. Yes, Lori?
Well, the reason I watch that, first of all, is to see the police pursuits and see where the crime is and basically where my traffic is.
Yeah, but you will bring up, but I'll never hear about LGBTQ on that because they're for it. They're for the indoctrination of our children. So that's not a bad thing to them.
Hang on a second, Matt. I get a lot of alerts. They come to my phone.
Whoa.
And they're basically crime stuff.
I'd like to see some of those.
It's what I'm focused on.
Yeah.
I'm focused on crime.
Yeah.
So back in New York, when they were coming in
Are you saying you
busloads-
like crime?
No, I want to stop crime.
All right.
Okay, so back in New York, when these
How are you going to stop crime, Lori?
I'm sensing superhero.
Are you?
I am a superhero.
I'm sensing superhero in a black wife beater.
Blondie superhero, former drug dealer, a bikini model, Broadway dancer,
Thank you.
cheerleader on Long Island.
I'm so awesome.
So awesome.
So your point is what, Laura?
My point is, when I was watching the clip, I got the alert on the clip when these people coming busloads into town, these immigrants coming to New York.
Wait. I don't want to slow the show down, but you said clip. Wonderhussy, the YouTube sensation, coming here in September on Outlaw Radio, and our friend Dangerous Tattoo Dave will be clipping her underarms because she has a full bush under her arms.
And the great Steve Abbott from Wisconsin is going to send the clippers.
But I'm still using mine.
And the great Steve will be sending clippers to clip old Wonderhussy's underarm hair.
Yes.
And it's the only thing and I can't say I don't like it about her.
I don't mind it. I don't mind it.
I don't mind. I don't mind it. It's sort of
Hippie man.
organic. It's sort of organic and fun.
I don't think her legs are hairy.
No. I mean, not what I've seen.
Oh, so she shaves her legs, but
I
she
believe
leaves
she
her
does.
underarms?
Now, see, Lori.
That smells.
What?
Underarms when they're not clipped properly.
Okay. You can say that once you meet her. That smells.
I'm
but
not gonna
until
sniff her.
until then, you don't know.
I'm not going to sniff her.
All right, continue. Where were you going with this?
I will be sniffing.
You can sniff her, Dave.
Yeah. All right.
So the point is, when these people are coming off the bus, there were tons of people. They had these bracelets because they were immigrants that the guy from Texas sent to.
They're illegal aliens.
Yes.
They're not immigrants. Boy,
That's what they call them.
this tells you how many hours Lori spends watching local news.
I don't.
They're immigrants to Lori. They're illegal aliens.
That's not what they're calling them. I just saunter
Well,
in.
of course they're not, because you're watching local lefty news.
So, These people are coming in busloads, and they're clipping off their bracelets. Once they run the scan on them, they clip their bracelets and welcome them into New York City, Manhattan.
Okay, they
Where are
clip
they
their-
go- yeah, they have these
and welcome
bracelets.
them. Who welcomes them?
Whoever is at the end of the bus. It was so unclear. But where are they sending them? So at one point, they were going to send them to Milford Plaza, which was a great tourist place in the heart of Broadway shows.
Hey, Lori, you know, I am familiar with Milford Plaza.
Come on along and listen to the lullaby on Broadway.
Ba-da-ba-da.
That was the song.
The reason why I know Milford is because it was a rundown hotel back in the late 80s, early 90s. Now, I don't know if they gentrified it, but it became an American airline flight attendant hotel. How do I know that? I was married to a flight attendant for American Airlines, and I was in one of those rooms, and it was awful. It was awful. And I know that in its heyday, it was one of those beautiful, great, classic hotels. And whether they gentrified, which something tells me
they did a little bit of.
I think they did something.
They did a little something, and they charged the prices more.
But your point is, they have taken over that hotel to stick the homeless
and the immigrants or the illegals.
That's who I'm talking about.
Right.
The illegal homeless, who were shipped here by the great Greg Abbott, governor of Texas.
Yes.
And they're sticking them in that hotel,
which is going to be a mess. First of all, they don't.
By the way, it's always quick fix crap with these lefties.
They don't even
It's
have a
always
guarantee.
and that'll fix things for about a day and a half.
Yeah. Right.
About a day and a half. Instead of looking,
then it goes south.
Instead of looking at the huge problem and what is it we have to do to fix the big problem. But it's not about that.
No.
Not with these people. It's about Band-Aids.
Right. So when they moved it, first of all, they didn't even get a bid on it yet. So they don't even know who's going to pick up the bid that they have out there. They said there's like 5 or 6 different companies, but nobody has secured that building yet.
Right.
Where are they putting these people?
Yeah.
Are they going to be on the street now?
Yeah.
Are they going to be in the subways?
Hopefully on the Upper West Side.
Yeah.
Hopefully while these a-holes are dining al fresco and enjoying their vichyssoise.
Love it.
And their cold soup. Because, well, it's... Matt, don't you know? It comes that way. It comes cold. That's the way it's supposed to be. Those West Side idiots. Man, when I was in New York, and I love... By the way, let me make this clear. I love New York City.
Yeah, what's
but
not to
man,
love?
yeah, I couldn't stand those people. We'll be this after back.
This has gotta stop. Enough is enough. I can't take this BS any longer. It's gone far enough. You wanna claim my soul? You'll have to come and break down this door. I knew that something was going on wrong when you started laying down the law. I can't move my hands. I break out in sweat. I wanna cry. Can't take it anymore. This has gotta stop. Enough is enough. I can't take this BS any longer. It's gone far enough. You wanna claim my soul? You'll have to come and break down this door. I've been around a long, long time, seen it all, and I'm used to being free. I know who I am, try to do what's right, so lock me up and throw away the key. This has gotta stop. Enough is enough. I can't take this BS any longer. It's gone far enough. You wanna claim my soul? You'll have to come and break down this door.
for them. And then what's coming down the road? The light in the tunnel could be the southbound train. Lord, please help them with their load. This has gotta stop. Enough is enough. I can't take this BS any longer. It's gone far enough. You wanna claim my soul? You'll have to come and break down this door. This has gotta stop. Enough is enough. I can't take this BS any longer. It's gone far enough. You wanna claim my soul? You'll have to come and break down this door.
How's it going? I know you got a clue what you're doing. You can play brand new to all the other chicks out here, but I know what you are, baby. Look at you, getting more than just a re-up. Baby, you got all the puppets with the strings up, faking like a good one, but I call them like I see them. I know what you are, baby. Womanizer, womanizer, you're a womanizer, oh, womanizer, oh, you're a womanizer, baby. You are, womanizer, womanizer, womanizer. Boy, don't try to front, I know just what you are. Boy, don't try to front, I know just what you are. You got me going, you're oh so charming, but I can't do it. Womanizer. Boy, don't try to front, I know just what you are. Boy, don't try to front, I know just what you are. You say I'm crazy.
Passive Aggressive has a new home. You're listening to Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt Allen.
It's Outlaw Radio time!
We, meaning us here on Outlaw Radio, we were talking about surcharges, ridiculous surcharges and crap, especially when it comes to Vegas. And these, sometimes the surcharge will cost more than the night at the hotel.
It's ridiculous.
Than the charge for the night at the hotel in Vegas. What do they call those? They call them...
resort fees.
Yeah, resort fees. It's a scam-a-lama ding-dong. Hey, same goes. I want you to be aware. Check out your check. Look at your check at a restaurant or look at the fine print. I never would have said this 2 years ago. But you sort of have to do this now so you're not ripped off. You will find at some restaurants they're doing this 3 to 6% friggin' surcharge, and they just throw it in there and they say 3% surcharge. They don't necessarily call it anything. It's to recoup what they lost for a year and a half of COVID.
Yep.
I will tell you this. If I were at a restaurant and I saw that at the end of the night, I flat out would not pay that. Or if they're not willing to take it off, that will be deleted from their tip. Period.
Yep.
Period. Don't pay these ridiculous fees.
Everybody lost out during this time, not just
not just restaurants.
Yeah, I mean, it's.
And by the way, for you restaurants that and God, I feel you, man. Especially here in California, when you were forced to stop business. Lori, you changed the microphones again, so now it's just off. What? Come on, man, work with me. Lori Downey Jr., the producer. There she goes. Okay. So she's going out of her way to screw me.
I'm not. I'm just trying to figure out. Everything changes every break, Matt.
No.
This is Dave's, Matt.
You just fixed it. You just fixed it just now. You fixed it. You fixed it.
Bring it up.
You
take him down.
You fixed it. You fixed me.
Oh my God.
So anyway, look for the surcharge. Check out the menu. If there's a surcharge on the menu and it talks about COVID, but it probably won't. You probably won't know what it's for. There's no reason you should be charging charge a surcharge. I mean, listen, I'm a 20% tipper at the very least. And by the way, yeah, that's it. At the very least, Lori. That's why I said I'm a 20% tipper at the very least. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And you don't tip on tax. This is becoming lost. Do you know this, Dave?
Of course.
You tip before tax.
Of course.
But idiots out there, they're too stupid to understand that you're tipping on the tax. No, don't pay the government extra fees. You tip on whatever that happens to be, whatever the monetary value of that food purchase was before the tax was thrown on. It sounds like not a lot.
It's really simple, man.
Yeah, it is. But if you're at a steakhouse and you're spending $400, that crap adds up. Yes, Mark?
You take the tax in California, you round up to the next dollar and double it. That's 20%. Simple.
Okay.
I don't do that.
Okay.
I overtip.
No.
I do overtip.
No,
always.
I don't even understand I mean, all you have to do is just add 20% without the tax. Didn't I just say that?
Yes.
We'll be this after back on Outlaw Radio.
People can't do that math.
Up to be somebody that just loves to learn, and another child grows up to be somebody you just love to burn. Mom loves the both of them. You see, it's in the blood. Both kids are good and bound. Thicker than the mud, it's a family affair.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair.
still checking each other out. Hey, nobody wants to blow. Nobody wants to be left out. You can't leave cause your heart is there. But you can't stay cause you've been somewhere else. You can't cry cause you look broke down. But you're crying anyway cause you're all broke down. It's a family affair.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair. Yeah, family affair. One child grows up to be somebody that just loves to learn, and another child grows up to be somebody you just love to burn. Mom loves the both of them. You see, it's in the blood. Both kids are good and bound. Blood's thicker than the mud. It's a family affair.
It's a family affair.
It's a family affair. taking each other out. Hey, nobody wants to blow. Nobody wants to be left out. You can't leave 'cause your heart is there. But you can't stay 'cause you've been somewhere else. You can't cry 'cause you look broke down. But you're crying anyway 'cause you're all broke down. It's a family affair. It's a family affair. It's a family affair.
Oh, it's a long, long time from May to December, and the days grow short when you reach September, when the autumn weather turns the leaves to flame, and you ain't got time for the waiting game.
Doohickey, you know, the doohickey that rolls.
Hi, this is Meatloaf. Okay, kids, you know what time it is? You know what time it is? It's Outlaw Radio time!
The most imitated radio station in the nation.
I'm through with standing in line for some fun to begin, but I found a good thing leaving me with a grin. It's time for Outlaw Radio to begin.
You have the great Billy Gibbons here? Yeah.
It's very cool.
He just passed out.
Yeah.
Hey, that didn't sound too bad. Huh?
At the Light 'em Up Lounge.
Oh, man.
We're here with Matt.
Oh, yeah.
At the Light 'em Up.
Oh, little Outlaw Radio.
We're here with Matt.
And he's not fat.
We got all these guys and girls in the house. Let me tell you, that's where it's at. And that's, ladies and gentlemen, Matt Allen. Pass me a gallon.
Tattoo Dave inquired, Matt, what's with the long hair? This is the longest I've ever seen your hair. And I, you know, I never have long hair.
It's a freedom, you know, no cuts, no this.
It is, you know, Tattoo Dave, because you had long hair for gazillions of years.
My whole life.
And yeah, it is sort of a freedom. It's sort of hippie-like, but it's like, hey, screw it. I'm digging it. But now I have this lunch at the Magic Castle on Friday, and it's like, oh, do I want to be the different guy with the long hair? I think I have to get a. Chicks dig long hair.
They do.
Have you noticed that?
No.
Huh?
Of course.
Why is that?
Don't know.
I'll tell you.
It's rebellious.
No. Well, yeah, it's a little rebellious, but it's also because it's so they can fantasize about being with a woman.
Yeah. There's always that.
Yeah. We were talking about my buddy Tony from Basilico's restaurant in HB. That's Huntington Beach here in California. He's the guy, the rebel, who is on all the friggin' TV shows saying, screw it, you wear a mask in my restaurant, you're not in my restaurant, I'll kick you out. And he did. And so Lori's trying to get in touch with him because this has been bugging me the last month. That here I am that fair-weathered friend. So I have him on the show, and we visit him during the pandemic when he's being that rebel and doing the right thing. But after it's all said and done, it's like, okay, Tony who? And I feel bad about that. Because he's a good guy. He's a good guy that loves America. He's a good guy that can't stand this Governor Newsom. And that's enough for me. So Tony over at Basilico's and HB, man, God bless you. And I hope Lori gets in touch with you. You know, we invited Lori and I onto his yacht.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and so Lori, always the boater, very interested. And I'm thinking, I don't know, is this going to get weird, like a threesome thing? And,
no.
Or a foursome, because he has a girlfriend, a very young girlfriend.
Very
so she's up to no good. I'm just telling you, I know she's up to no good. And Tony, by the way, may be up to no good. But he's a lover of liberty in America.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Nah, well, listen.
I found the billboard.
Oh, you did? So this is the great Tony Roman of Basilico's restaurant. Hey, and P.S., great food. I mean, the wedding soup was the best wedding soup.
Oh, yeah.
And I've had wedding soup on the East Coast, in Jersey, on the island, and in Manhattan. And this was better wedding soup per capita than any of those places on the East Coast. But Tony, proprietor of Basilico's in Huntington Beach, and his billboard that he put up in Hollywood, talk about a defiant guy during the pandemic, said what?
Leave the mask.
Yeah, leave
the cannoli.
Yeah, leave the mask.
The cannoli is being operated by the puppet strings.
Yeah, of course, the Godfather thing. But yeah, leave the mask, take the cannoli. And of course, that sat well with the majority of those Hollywood types over there. But he certainly got attention, and he deserves it. And, you know, it'd be one thing if he were a rebel and didn't have good food. He has great food. I had one of the best ribeyes I have ever had in my mouth from Basilico's. Their master mixologist is truly that. Could make you a Manhattan beyond belief and an old-fashioned and the classic drinks. So God bless you, and rest in peace, Tony Roman. I wish you were still around. Well,
he is.
What, he is? He's not dead.
No.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, obviously.
No.
Yeah. But I feel like he is because I'm a fair weather friend. As soon as all the hype is done, it's like, okay, your old buddy Magic Man. He wanted to do a podcast with me as well.
I know.
Yeah. Yeah, I couldn't see that happen.
But why didn't you follow through?
I'll tell you why I didn't follow through, because that's a long journey to HP every friggin' week. That's a long trip, my friends.
That's a drive.
That's a big ass drive.
But he's a good man.
Not a but. He is a good man. There is no but involved.
Okay.
Okay. Figure out the microphones. You know Billy's no longer here, so his microphone shouldn't be up, and and Mark C.G. Boyer's mic should never be up.
No, we can't have that.
See, it was up. See, I knew that.
It's not his microphone.
I'm pro-choice, says Bill Maher, but pro-lifers aren't sexist. And in fact, I'm not going to read this to you. I want you to hear a little of Bill Maher with that friggin' mush-mouth piece of crap Rob Reiner meathead from All in the Family. But God bless you, Bill Maher, for being a pragmatist. It is number 232. and it's Bill Maher, and the other idiot stick on the show is Amy Klobuchar, a.k.a. Minnesota Senator Klobuchar. You talk about a broad that I cannot stand. And by the way, not a broad. Let me take that back.
Yeah.
I like broads. She's not a broad. She's a sissy lefty piece of crap. Here we go, Bill Maher.
The other big thing that's going to provide wind at the back of the Democratic sails is this abortion issue.
Pause. Now, I mentioned this, not to be a broken record, but I mentioned this when this came down, the Roe v. Wade being overturned. And I said bad timing. I said bad timing for those liberty lovers, those who love America, because this can only hurt us. Bill Maher knows that this is something that can hurt the Republicans. Now, I don't take it as far as Bill does. I don't think that this is wind behind the sails. I don't think this is going to change an awful lot. And maybe I'm more hopeful than anything. But Bill thinks this is a game changer, but he does make some sense here. Go ahead, Lori.
I mean, the Supreme Court did you politically a big favor, because for a while people were, oh, I don't know, is this really going to get people out to the polls? We have enough evidence now with these special elections and the polling. We see, and you know who really is up in arms about this that we didn't think was going to be? Dads. Now, here's my theory.
Feedback, Laura. Fix
American
it, please.
Parents spoiled their kids so rotten that they created this cadre of monster children.
Yes.
And
true. It's
and
true.
People don't want them. So the idea that you would
I think you're on to something, Bill.
I do too.
I think you're on to
I do too.
There's Rob Reiner.
And that you take away my abortion rights?
Oh.
No, I do not want children. I do not want them around me. I mean, I felt like this always. But now
Pause for a second, Laura. Hey, I want to go on record saying I love kids. Always have loved kids. I perform my magic, being a professional magician since I was a kid, at children's hospitals throughout the years. I love children. So, yeah, we certainly are not on the same page here, but I appreciate Bill Maher's honesty when he says he hates kids. Continue.
Okay. Just a little different take on it.
This is Amy Klobuchar.
I just see it more simply that basically the women of America and the men who stand with them
here we go.
Don't believe that politicians should be telling them what to do with their bodies.
Oh, and the audience goes wild. Oh, yes. Oh, yeah. Kill a kid. Kill a baby.
A patchwork of laws so that a 10-year-old girl who is raped in Ohio
here we go. One
has
incident.
to be taken to another
One
state
incident, Amy.
to get an abortion.
The only thing you can hang your hat on, you piece of crap.
People in Kansas, you know, there used to be that book, What's the Matter with Kansas?
Yeah.
Now my answer is nothing. Nothing.
Of course, because they agree with you.
Turned out more people voted on the side of reproductive freedom than voted at all.
Pause. I just love that reproductive freedom.
Yeah, wow.
They call it reproductive
What a
freedom.
spin.
It's classic. And it's killing an unborn child. Continue, please.
Kansas midterm. And they voted that way because they wanted to stand up for freedom. And you've got the fact that we don't want a patchwork of laws across this country. So women in Minnesota have different rights than women in Texas, or women in North Dakota have different rights than women in Florida.
Pause. Hey, Amy, that's called states' issues. That's the way it was designed by our forefathers. That's the way it was designed. That's why it's not the most votes win. That's why the college process works to represent each state. Amy Klobuchar, it seems to me that I shouldn't have to explain this to you, a Minnesota senator. Yeah, I guess I do.
This is a huge issue, and you and I discussed it when I was on the show last October, and you kind of didn't agree with me that it would be an issue. I think it is freedom to make your decision.
I'm certainly pro-choice.
Yeah, I know you are.
What I'm saying, I'm more pro-choice than you could imagine.
True, he is.
I don't think life is always precious. Most people don't think that. What I'm saying is you shouldn't say to the other side, you people hate women. They don't hate women.
Right.
They just think it's murder.
Yes.
And if you think it's murder, then you can't go, well, except for people with a vagina. They can commit.
Correct.
I don't think it's murder, but they legitimately do. And it insults them.
And who are they?
Okay.
Who are they?
Oh, here we go.
Pro-life
Here we go.
Yeah, but
Meathead.
there are pro-life people that have
Rob
the
Reiner.
view that that's fine. They just don't think that they should put their views on someone else.
Right.
And so that.
But you wouldn't say
Right.
that about
Wait,
murder.
pause for a second, Lori. This is Rob Reiner who's saying, right. Don't put your views on someone else. Right. That's Rob Reiner saying that. The man who is in the forefront of this fake friggin' secondhand smoke BS. It was 100% fake from the beginning. It remains fake. This does not cause ill health. This certainly doesn't cause cancer, secondhand smoke. It is a scam, a llama ding dong, and this is the man that wants to get inside your condo, your apartment, your home, and tell you that you cannot smoke because he believes it's the right thing to do not to smoke. Now, I say, listen, cigarette smoking is probably not good for you. I smoke cigars constantly. It's probably not great for me. Mentally, without it, I'd be a mental patient, I think. So mentally, it's good for me. Do these things cause cancer? Probably. But it's called personal decision. It's called liberty. It's called being an American. You should have the choice. But as he's saying, well, the choice is... No, he doesn't believe in personal choice. This Rob Reiner talks out of both sides of his mouth, this piece of crap. And by the way, yes, I'm saying it. Cage match, you a-hole. And by the way, I don't need you for this one, Dave.
Okay.
No, I'll be in there alone with that man. Cage match. Rob Reiner, I have disliked for 25, almost 30 years because he's a non-smoking zealot and he does not believe in the rights of Americans. Continue, Lord.
I think
That's
that
what
is
their
true.
point is. It's like
I know people in my own state. That's their own personal view, but they think, and that's fine. They just don't believe, and that's why they're voting this way, and why we just won that special election in New York.
No.
Thank you,
but
Bill.
they have an agenda, and it's a Christian nationalist agenda
Here we go.
that has been being pushed.
Here we go.
And has been pushed for a
Hate the
long
Christians.
Not everyone who's pro-life is a Christian national.
No, I'm not saying
Pause. Do you hear what he said?
Yeah.
Bill Maher. Not everyone is pro-life who is a Christian.
Right.
You know, not every one of those people. And I appreciate him saying this as Meathead tries to talk him down.
I'm not saying everybody who's pro-life. I'm saying the people who think it's murder and there should be no exceptions for that, that's a very small group of people.
Now
that's
listen to
not
Bill.
the vast majority of people in this country.
Listen to
No,
Bill.
it's not.
And
Well,
the Republicans...
It's a sizable minority.
But it's a minority.
The bills that are passing, the bills that are passing right now as the Republican governors run to the State House to see who can enact.
Here she goes. Was that it? Was that it? Okay. More with Bill Maher because it's worthy of listening to. This is on the Biden loan program.
Okay.
This is on that kiss-ass friggin' Joe Biden doing everything he can to curry favor with the youth so they'll vote for the Democrats. That's all this is. No more, no less. Do you understand this? Lori, do you understand this?
I understand it.
You do understand that this is all about currying favor with those idiots who wouldn't know their ass from a hole in the ground youth who have no idea which way to vote. But damn it, if you're going to pay for what we owe to our colleges, thousands upon thousands of dollars, then damn it, we're voting for you. That's what this is. And this pisses me off to friggin' high heaven. They act like more education solves everything. Bill Maher's take, once again, smart guy, Amy Klobuchar gets involved. Oh, I'm sorry.
I didn't have the cut.
237. Sorry, Laura. Number 237, more with Bill Maher.
Let's move on to the other big thing that the administration did. Now, college loans. It's interesting. I know there's people who have college loans.
Yes, right.
There are other people in America, the vast majority of Americans didn't go to college.
Right.
And they don't have college loans. So they're a little pissed about this.
Yes.
They're like, you know, there are plumbers out there saying, well, why don't you pay off my truck instead? Because that's what my money went to, my life went to. It's amazing to me when I read in the paper today how many Democrats are divided about this.
Pause.
They're completely behind this idea that...
I'm pausing because is this not so simple? Bill Maher's words are so simple. Why wouldn't you pay for all of the expense that I put into my small business then? Why is it about college loans? Because it's about currying favor and grabbing a vote. That's all it is. No more, no less. Continue.
Joe Biden is paying off people's student loans. So where are you on that one?
I think you know during the presidential, I was the one that said rich kids, we shouldn't be paying for their college. You just can't staple a diploma for free under everyone's chair. Part of that is I think we need to focus on apprenticeships and filling the hard-to-fill jobs. That being said, Bill, this is more targeted.
The hard-to-fill jobs. None of these idiots want to work because they don't have to because of the handouts given to them by the Biden administration. This is all about indoctrination. This is all about gimme, gimme, gimme. They get so much stuff. They don't have to work. There's no reason to work. They make more money on unemployment than they would having to put in 8 or 9 or 10 hours a day.
Yep.
This is all about acclamation to socialism, to communism. That's what this is, and that's who these people are, including Amy Vulture and Rob friggin' Reiner. Bill Maher at least is pragmatic about issues, and I appreciate him. Continue.
Than a bunch of the proposals that were out there. And 87% of the money goes to people that are making less than $75,000 a year.
Once again, why 75,000? Why not 50? Why not 100,000? I love these numbers that are pulled out of their friggin' asses. I mean, help me with this, Lori. Help me with this, Dave. These are numbers that are pulled out of the friggin' air. And she makes it sound as though that's a good thing. Well, if you're under 75,000,
it's almost nothing to do with it. It's ridiculous.
It has nothing to do with the fact that they are paying off student loans.
And just to be clear,
it's called responsibility.
They're not paying off anything. They're going to make us pay it off.
Of course, that's
the problem.
It's the taxpayer.
Right.
It's you and I. It's us who will be paying the freight for these little idiot sticks who don't have the wherewithal to get a gig. And I believe in this cut, Bill Maher goes on to say, talking about college and how useless it is. There was a time when it came in handy, when I believe our universities taught students things they could use in their life.
Yeah, 4 generations ago.
Not anymore, man. No. It is a scam-a-lama ding-dong. Yeah. And I do believe Bill Maher is profound in this upcoming. I think Amy Loudmouth is still talking, but continue, please, Laura.
It will help nurses. It helps nurses. It helps teachers. It helps electricians. A bunch of people have community college loans. That being said, if I could wave a magic wand and do what I want to do, I would have actually tied it to the hard-to-fill jobs. We have 10 million job openings right now in our country. 2 million of them are in
because they don't have to work.
Assisted living. So if people will go into those jobs instead of being like hedge fund managers.
Pause. What's wrong with being a hedge fund? Once again, it's the left. They know what's better for you, and God hate those hedge fund. Listen, if you're making an honest living as a hedge fund manager, and you've got the yachts and the boats and the, God bless you. That's the American way. Continue with Amy Dip S.
We could actually put the loan repayment help and have it connected to people going into the jobs that we need to fill. I think that would be a way you can do it. But
the audience has no idea.
For people to understand that this is a targeted program that you put out.
50 years ago, 70% of good jobs required a high school diploma. Now they say 70% require a college
Lori, his
degree.
mic's up too
So I know
loud.
this is like supposed to address income inequality, but it kind of does the reverse because it's the people who have college degrees.
Yeah, but there are also parents of those kids who don't have college degrees who want their kids to be able to go to college so that they can have a better life than they did. And we have to address the cost of going to college. I mean, I'm an old man, but when I went to college...
You're an old stupid
UCLA,
man, Rob Reiner.
It cost me $242 to go to school for a whole year. And it's unfortunate, and it does target the kids that are most in need.
But I keep saying on this show, no one's listening, but I keep saying...
Well, it's your show.
I know. No, I'm just saying nobody, eventually they follow my lead, but it takes years.
A decade.
Takes years and someone else to claim it. Anyway, but I keep saying it's not about affordability. Yes, college is unaffordable. It's about making college more unnecessary. It's a giant scam.
Right.
It's a consumer product.
Right.
That they're selling you.
Yes.
As a golden ticket to be in the upper middle class.
Yes.
But they're not really getting any education.
No.
Did you go to college?
Of course.
Of course.
Because that's
and look at the job you have. You're a big time
Rob
guy
Reiner, you're an a-hole.
Of your own show. Would you have your own show? Maybe you would. I don't know.
Yes, I would.
Yes,
exactly.
I would.
Yeah. No,
No, I mean, actually...
See, that's the point.
You wouldn't qualify for the loan repayment.
Oh my God!
I got to tell you, Bill Maher, thank you for being a smart guy. You know, we disagree on obviously many issues. I mean, for some reason you still call yourself a Democrat. I guess you do, or he's a libertarian, whatever the hell you are. But I know you're not going to vote for a Republican. But, you know, the latest scuttlebutt out there is they want, what's-his-ass, to replace him. Who's the big loudmouth, who did the great bit on COVID-19 and the Wuhan virus, that Jon Stewart. So they want this is out there.
Wow.
That Jon Stewart could replace Bill Maher. Now, why do you think that would be happening? Because Bill Maher is
drifting.
Yes. But he's only drifting. He's not drifting. He's an old school Democrat who believes he's always pretty much stayed the same, but his party has left him. When will you admit that, Bill Maher? When will that day happen? Because I look forward to it. We'll be this after back on Outlaw Radio. On YouTube, find us under Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio.
Don't
dive bar at the end of the Walk of Fame. The cartilage left over in a bag of Popeye's chicken. Chronic talk from stars, would-be stars, wannabes, and people who just want to hear themselves talk. This is Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt Allen. What a boy would be if Siegfried and Roy had a son.
I like this John Nolte over at Breitbart an awful lot. Smart guy and a funny guy. And he says, thanks to Woke, world's second largest theater chain talks bankruptcy. Cineworld, planet's second largest theater chain here in the U.S., known as Regal Theaters. And now, due to several factors, one being the woke pandemic, talk of bankruptcy is in the air for them. Yeah, one of the factors in the anti-science China flu lockdowns. I love the way this guy writes. Anti-science China flu lockdowns, and it was completely anti-science. All the lockdowns. It was a waste of time, and took money from these ma and pop joints, man. And it's only the big businesses, even though I was going to say the Black Anguses, but I have this stinking suspicion Black Angus ain't doing well.
Are they still around?
Yeah, I think barely, but I don't know for sure. So I
know there's one on Corbin that I used to go to, but I haven't been over there in a while.
The place with the worst service ever?
Yeah, bad.
Yeah.
I've been there.
Yeah. Well, you've been there with me.
And then I went there again with a friend of mine.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm certain of that. There's also global and U.S. recession. Okay. Moviegoers have streamed back into the theaters to see blockbusters like Spider-Man No Way Home, Top Gun Maverick, and Jurassic World Dominion. But this summer's $3.3 billion in ticket sales is still running nearly 20% behind the summer of 2019 before the pandemic. According to data from ComScore, there don't seem to be any big hits in the immediate horizon to make those numbers much better. So Cineworld, a.k.a. What do we call Regal Theaters here in the States, expects the lower levels to continue until November. So we have two issues to explore. The first is a post-pandemic 2022 box office running 20% behind the pre-pandemic box office. Second is a lack of blockbusters between now and November. Well, why?
Yeah.
Why is that?
How are they supposed to make them?
Why is 2022 running 20% behind 2019? The far left serial-lying Hollywood trades will tell you the pandemic is still an issue. Then how exactly did Spider-Man No Way Home and Top Gun Maverick become two of the biggest domestic blockbusters in history, and most importantly, bring older moviegoers into theaters?
Doesn't depend on what state they're viewing it in?
No, they're simply blockbusters in every state of the union.
It's definitely nationwide.
You see, what those two movies prove beyond any doubt is that Hollywood and their folks in the Hollywood media can no longer blame the pandemic on the faltering box office. What those two movies prove is that if you actually make movies people want to see, people will not only see them, they are hungry to pay to see them in a theater.
Yep.
There was no lack of product through August, so that wasn't the problem. The problem was the product underperformed, namely Thor, God of Love, and Thunder, Lightyear. We know what that's about. The Secrets of Dumbledore, Matrix, Resurrection, West Side Story, and The King's Man. A few of those titles were officially released in 2021, but in December of 2021, that means they should have boosted the 2022 box office in the same way Spider-Man and the other movie did.
Top Gun.
Yeah, and why do almost all those 2022, late 2021 flops, what do they have in common? Woke tartary. Woke tartary. They flop because no one goes to the movies to be lectured about how intolerant they are.
I'm using that.
How we're all colonizers and oppressors, or to subject their innocent children to confusing sexuality.
Woke tards.
Parents are sick and tired of this crap. Woke is killing Cineworld, my friend. but it's also a lack of product for the remainder of 2022. 3 barren months. I mean, think about this. Through December, we were promised 2 Star Wars movies each year. What about all the other franchises? All those golden geese that lay those golden eggs. No one's making Star Wars movies anymore because woke killed Star Wars. Same with Men in Black, Terminator, and a bunch of other flicks. Movie theaters, a.k.a. exhibitors, need product. They need asses in the seats. And the second largest chain in the world is on the verge of bankruptcy because the woke Gestapo thinks it can rewire millions of years of human nature through cinematic propaganda. That's what this is about. Well, it's not working.
No.
It's not working. We won't pay for this crap, and you can't make us pay for this crap. And that's why Cineworld, Regal Theaters are filing for bankruptcy.
Yep.
Batgirl star Ivory Aquino, I was going to say fecal matter. Yeah, it sort of fits. Speaking of transgender and the woke, Batgirl star Ivory Aquino pleads with Warner Brothers Discovery CEO to release shelved movie. Transgender Batgirl star Ivory Aquino has launched a last-ditch effort to save the $90 million. They spent $90 million on this superhero movie. The dustbin of history urging Warner Brothers Discovery CEO David Zaslav. Let me think. One of your tribe, Mark C.G. Boyer?
Distinct.
It's got.
What?
I'll tell you what. You know, I don't care what you say. The gays and the Jews run Hollywood. There, I said it. Yes, I said it.
As it should be.
As it should be. In an impassioned letter posted to Twitter, Ivory Aquino, who is a male to female transgender, asked Zaslav to look past the bottom line and think about the fellow human beings and artists. So forget about the money you're going to lose. Just look toward the artists. Because, the amount of money spent on promotion is usually more than the movie. These folks who worked on the movie, Aquino reportedly played the character Alicia Yeo, the transgender best friend of Barbara Jordan, a.k.a. Batgirl, who is transgender in the movie. He also pushed back against criticism that the movie is woke, saying the screenplay simply reflects the world we live in.
Aye.
No, it doesn't reflect the world we live in. It reflects the world in which you want to live in, where transgenders are much more than, let's say, 3% of the people on this planet. That's what you're looking for. But it's not true. See, truth, usually you can follow the truth train and you'll come up with a verdict that Batgirl won't be released in cinemas or on HBO Max. $90 million down a friggin' rat hole. The Hollywood Reporter recently noted the studio could possibly physically destroy all Batgirl footage in order to prove to the IRS that it won't realize any revenue from the movie, thus receive a full tax write-off.
Great.
$90 million.
Incredible.
It is incredible.
It is.
And by the way, you looking at me? It's me that you're looking at. Are you looking at me? Aussie nightclub bans staring without verbal consent.
Oh my God.
An Aussie nightclub. This would be a nightclub in Australia. They have banned staring without verbal consent.
Oh my God.
And my friends, this comes from my heart. Magic Matt Allen's heart. On Outlaw Radio, Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. Punch that in, subscribe, or I'll come to your house and do really odd things to your backyard furniture.
Wow.
This is yet another reason they should have left it a penal colony. I have said this for years. Australia should have stayed a penal colony. They were really good at that. That was their job. Stay a penal colony. Call the woke police, my friends. A nightclub in Sydney, Australia has banned patrons from staring at each other unless the person gazing on another has been granted specific prior verbal consent.
Insanity.
Oh, I wish I were making this up.
Wow.
Failure to comply can result in ejection from the newly declared safe space and local law enforcement being called.
Jesus Christ, really?
So when you're there with friends and you're talking and having a discussion across the table, you have to verbally consent for me to look at you while I'm talking to you.
Yes.
Give me a
So you have to ask. So you have to ask for verbal consent without looking at the person first.
Yeah,
yeah. You have to sort of sidle on in.
There's going to be an app.
Well, how much time has to pass before I'm just?
Well, I'll tell you right now. In my business, it's I want to say 8 seconds.
Yeah. Because in your
you're
business,
reported to human resources.
Yes, if you're looking. And by the way, doesn't have to be in this day and age, doesn't have to be someone of the opposite sex, just anyone.
Right.
And if you were ogling them on a movie set, even though you're not ogling, but you're looking, and they say, and even if you weren't looking, if they say that you were looking,
you made me uncomfortable. I'm going to human resources, and then you get called in. And
that's where we are, man.
Yep.
That's the woke. That's the
and
idiot
we have to take
sticks.
classes on it.
The venue has also discouraged people visiting if their sole purpose was to meet someone to pick up. Isn't that why so many visit a nightclub? Club 77 in the very heart of Australia's biggest city. Oh, God, why didn't they remain a penal colony? Would be in the contravention of its new safety and harassment policy. The policy was made public earlier in the month in an Instagram post, with the club adding safety officers in pink vests would patrol the venue to strictly enforce the no staring mandate.
In pink vests?
Yes.
Okay.
Club 77 said it had updated its rules because it had recently attracted some people who do not share our values and ethics when it comes to club culture. Club owner Don Garrell told the local Daily Telegraph newspaper no one had been ejected from the club for staring as of yet.
Oh my
but
God.
he wanted to lay the health and safety ground rules in a public forum to ensure everyone felt welcome.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
If the guy in a pink vest comes up to me and he's like telling me that I was staring at somebody so long and I have to like get in trouble now.
Yeah.
Do I have to ask him permission to look in his eyes also?
No. You just punch him right in the face.
Yeah. Punching is okay.
Yeah. It's in less than a second.
Staring, not okay. Someone could stare at someone, make them feel uncomfortable. They could be staring at them for quite some time. People want to go out. They want to feel safe. They don't want people chasing after them. The response to it has been extremely positive, says this dip-esque club owner. No specific example has been given as yet as to what constitutes an unwanted stare, as opposed to one clubber trying to innocently make eye contact with another.
Just stay home.
It was suggested that simply if the person is being glanced at took offense, the clubber looking in their direction could be kicked out. The club has attracted both widespread praise and criticism for its strong stance. Please guess. Who do you think the criticism's coming from? And I hate to be so ugly and bold about this. Really big, ugly chicks. Yes. And by the way, I like a big chick, and I have no problem with an unattractive woman. I think, and I love the hearts of so many.
Listen, when you're staring at somebody, 99% of the time, it's a compliment.
Of course it is.
Give me a break. Now you're trying to take that away?
Yeah, no, they've been trying to take this away for years. That's the woke-tards. Thank you for looking after your peoples, some people have been quoted. One reveler posted, while another added, we love the idea of a safety officer. Yeah, imagine what these people look like who are saying this.
In pink.
But not everyone is a fan. So extreme. Everyone look on the floor now. Oh my God, where's the world going? Pathetic, really. One woman commented on the Instagram post, the stupidity of these rules would guarantee that the only patrons who attend the club will be snowflake generation. Good luck with that. Yes, and you're right.
Yep, correct.
I still believe in humanity. I still believe there are enough smart smart people out there who won't take this BS. And by the way, I don't ask for boycotts, but my God, this friggin' idiot stick nightclub owner in Sydney, Australia, called the Club 77, why would you go there?
Yeah.
I look for this place to be out of business within a month or two.
Yeah,
We'll be this
or he
after
just brought himself some, free advertising.
What an idiot. We'll be this after back on Outlaw Radio.
We stand for fun. We stand for great cigars. We stand for the perfect martini. And we stand for the American flag. We are Outlaw Radio with Magic Matt Allen.
If you have not subscribed to the YouTube version of Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, and by the way, don't subscribe to Outlaw Radio. There are a bunch of fakers out there. It's Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio, then why not? Go ahead. Come on. Set yourself free. The truth shall set you free. HR man Billy Dilly. Thanks to him, because I don't want to forget another week in a row. Mark C.G. Boyer, my buddy Tattoo Dave, good to have you back.
Pleasure.
Yeah, I like Tattoo Dave. And Lori Downey Jr., our producer. Never woke enough. Harry Stiles, slammed as homophobic. Queer people don't need him, and he better stop speaking for us. Harry Stiles, remember when he came out and he wore the dress or whatever the hell that was?
He's so cute.
Pop star and actor Harry Stiles was slammed and called homophobic by fans after he said film depictions of gay sex usually involve two guys going at it, which takes the tenderness out of it. So much of gay sex in film is two guys going at it, and it removes the tenderness. Stiles told Rolling Stone in a recent interview about his new film, My Policeman, in which he plays a homosexual police officer. So because he says that, now the woke are against Harry Stiles.
God.
Now they can't stand him.
Wow.
Those are your people, Lori.
Not my people.
Transgenders. And
Wow.
speaking of...
You're so funny, Matt. You're hysterical.
Hillary Clinton, Apu docuseries celebrated Gutsy Women features a drag queen and a transgender YouTuber. Hillary Clinton's new Apple TV Plus docuseries Gutsy is dedicated to spotlighting gutsy women who are leaders in their respective fields, but some of the women the show celebrates aren't women. One is a biological male who performs as a drag queen, while another is transgender. I need to ask the question, what is gutsy about that? It's gutsy to say that drag queen is sort of weird. That's gutsy. Not to come out as a drag queen or a transgender. That's status quo these days. That way you fit in. You know, now you're part of them. Now, I'm one of the crowd. That's the indoctrination. That's the youth today.
Matt?
Well, they don't want to be, thrown under a bus. So it's like, men, women. Listen, sexuality can go either way. I feel like a woman. I'm a woman. I feel like a man. Yes, Lori.
You're so fixated on this every show. I've said this before.
Okay, yes, it's in the news, Lori.
It's the smallest little section. It's not my news.
It's not the small. Yes, it's not your news because you watch local news where this is not
feeds
important.
From everywhere. I get crime feeds. I don't get this stuff, and you're so fixated on this.
I
every
doubt
week.
LGBTQ is going to be a part of crime feeds.
So tired of it.
You're the only one that doesn't get it, Lori.
I'm the only one.
I don't have a dog in this fight.
Hear about it?
Simone, whose real name is Reggie Gavin, is a drag performer who won season 13 of VH1's RuPaul is a Drag Race. What?
You must be gay.
I must be gay?
Something going on with you.
So my love of Poontang is sort of giving you that impression.
Not with me.
Okay.
And I'm telling you, I was with you for years, but I don't know, Matt.
Okay, Lori. The one thing that I will always do
is tell the truth.
Yeah, and the one thing that I won't do is lie.
Not really.
Yes, really.
Oh, I know you.
Okay, Lori. I'm sorry. You're such a hostile, gutsy broad.
Not a hostile, gutsy broad.
Mark C.G. Boyer, thank you. Dave, Lori Downey Jr. Until next week, and I hope to see you next week, especially throughout our great radio stations throughout the nation, and of course on YouTube as Magic Matt's Outlaw Radio. I love you like, more than your neighbor. I want you to keep that in mind. And bumblebees can't fly.
Used to know a girl lived down there and she'd go out in the evenings and take her mess of it, carry it home and cook it for supper. Cause that's about all they had to eat. They did all right.